is Dylan, and I'm here to tell my story. So, I grew up in a small town called Whitestone, Virginia. It's where I was raised. Lived there till I was about 8 years old. My mother's name is Tracy, but I never really met my father. The closest father figure I had in my life was probably my brother, and I have an older sister, a younger sister, and they've been there for me too. But when I was about 2 or 3 years old, I was messing around in the Chesapeake Bay, and my mother wasn't watching me, so I ended up drowning, and I was pronounced dead for about 15 minutes. Just kind of crazy. And I came back to life somehow, which ever since then I was kind of wondering why, but I really feel like one of the big reasons is because, God was there for me, and he helped me out and pushed me through that. But then since that happened, my mother lost custody of me, and I ended up living with my grandmother. And through that was kind of hard, probably. I mean, I was 3, so I didn't really know about it, but it's still kind of hard for me now since I'm older. I don't really know my mother. But I ended up living with my grandmother. We still lived in Virginia for a while, and what happened was my granddad died, Pop, and after he died, it was very hard. We lived there for probably like two or three more years. And then after that, she dropped her job. She started, drinking. She started doing things. I mean, but she's my grandmother, so I'm gonna love her. And I was younger, so I didn't really know that it was like a bad, that was bad. So when I was about 7, my pop died, my granddad, he died, and my grandmother, she dropped her job, her friendships, her family. I mean, I was probably 7 or 8 but at the time, so I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew that my granddad wasn't around anymore. And it was upsetting, and I kind of remember the hard times, but very vaguely. But then we ended up moving. She met a guy named John. We moved up to Tennessee and Memphis for about 3 years, and that was good. I mean, it was fun. I remember the times there. But thing is, her drinking, the verbal abuse started coming into play, I guess. And at the same time, I was young. I didn't really know that it was a bad thing. So something happened. We ended up moving here in North Carolina, Hertford, 2012, 2013, I think. And I was, probably 12 years old or something. I don't know. I was young, a little young. And I lived with my uncle for a little bit, but that didn't end up working out because it was worse than with my grandmother. It was the drinking, the alcohol, the verbal abuse, and it was just kind of bad. So I ended up moving here in Elizabeth City, about 2 years later, so probably like 2014 or 2015, and I actually came here to the attic a couple times, which at that time I kind of just thought church is like a place to go or something to do on Sundays, and I thought I was at the low, like I was at a low time in life, and somehow, some way I pushed out of it, but at that time I didn't think it was, but now thinking back at it, I really think that God helped me and, pushed me through that, and even though I didn't just become a better person, I've, finally, a couple years ago, but I found out that that was not the life to live, that wasn't right, that wasn't okay, and now that I'm getting older and, I started coming to Town South, started coming to church, like, I realized, like, that type of stuff, like, shouldn't happen ever to anybody. It's very bad. Once I started actually going to it and starting, like, to get into it, like, I realized that I have an opportunity to give my life to the Lord and actually progress in it and get to know him, build a relationship with him, and I want to take it, and that's why it's one of the reasons why I'm getting baptized, is because I want to get to know him better, get to, know what I need to do in life. My name's Dylan, and I'm going to follow Jesus.